All right, so we're going to do lesson 8.3, area of circles. But we're going to start here really fast with a warm-up on our circumference, right? You just did this on the quiz yesterday, so we should be pretty fresh with it. Again, we have two formulas. We have circumference equals 2 times pi times r, or you have circumference equals pi times diameter, right? And we'll use the one 2 pi r because we have the radius, right? Now, if we wanted to use the diameter one, well, we would just say, well, this is 4, and all the way across would be 8. Okay, so if you like the pi times diameter, just double your radius to make the diameter there. All right, so circumference equals 2 pi r. Circumference equals 2 times 3.14 times 4. And just doing in my head, I see that 2 times 4 is 8, so 8 times 3.14. Less numbers punched in my calculator, less chance for error. So 25 and 1200ths inches. All right. Moving along to this one, circumference equals 2 pi r. Circumference equals 2 times pi times 7. If you want to save yourself some writing, you can always just write pi in there if you know it equals 3.14. So 14, 2 times 7 is 14, 14 times 3.14, and we get 43 and 96 hundredths. Don't forget those units, feet. And then lastly, we have circumference equals 2 pi r. Circumference equals 2 times 3.14 times 1, and this one should be pretty easy, right? No calculator needed. Because 2 times 1 is 2, and then 3.14 doubled is 6.28 centimeters. All right. All right, so we are looking at the idea of the area of the circle. Okay, so what we're looking at is the area of the circle, and there's a formula for us. Area equals pi times r squared. Okay, so make sure you use order of operations here because PEMDAS, right? That the exponents come before multiplying, right? So we have to do our exponent squared first before we multiply it times pi. Right, and so area equals 3.14, but we would have to have r squared first. Okay, so just think about it like in parentheses of some sort. All right, so find the area of the circle. Use 22/7 for pi, okay? And so we have area equals pi times r squared. Area equals 22/7. It's asking you to practice it with the fraction format. Times, right? Remember, we do this first. 7 squared. Okay, so we have area equals 22/7 times 49/1. And we would see that we can cross cancel. We have 7 groups here, 1 group here. And so we have 22 times 7. So area equals 22 times 7. And 7 times 2 is 100. It's 14, right? But add the 0 because it's in the tens column. And then 7 times 2 is 14. So 140 plus 14 would equal 154 centimeters squared. Hope you got it, right? Because remember, area is always units squared. And why is that? Okay, so what we're actually doing up here is we're saying right here with this r squared, it's saying that it's 7 centimeters times 7 centimeters. So we multiply our numbers together, we get 49, but we multiply our units together and we get centimeters times centimeters, which is centimeters squared. Okay, so that's how the centimeter squared comes into play. All right, so this next one, it has the diameter, and so we'll have to do something. So what is r, right? And so we know that r equals d divided by 2, And so we have 26 divided by 2, which equals 13. So equals 13. All right, so we have area equals pi r squared. Area equals 3.14 times, and think about parentheses, 13 squared. All right, so a lot of us memorized our square numbers up until 12, like 144, but the 13 times 13 isn't something that you might know right off the bat, but it is 169, right? And so we have area equals 3.14 times 169 times 3.14, and we get the area is 530 point, and we're just round to the nearest tenth. It was 0.666 or 0.66, but we'll make it 0.7. And again, don't forget those units, inches squared. All right, a couple for you to do on your own. So if you would like to push pause right now, you can do so and try them on your own. So it says find the area of the circle with a radius of 6 feet. Sometimes it's just helpful. I'm a visual person, so I like to see what does this mean? Well, it means the radius of 6 feet. Right now, okay, yeah, so radius, half of it. I drew it out and I can see it. And it wants us to use 3.14. And so we say area equals pi times r squared. Area equals 3.14 times, again, exponents come before multiplication, so we have to do this first, 6 feet squared. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't put that there. I should put it right out here, so it applies to both the 6 and the feet squared, right? And so it's 6 times 6 and then feet times feet. So we end up with area equals 3.14 times 36 feet squared, and 36 times 3.14 equals 113 and 4/100ths feet squared. All right, change pen color to kind of keep it separate. Find the area of the circle with the diameter of 28 meters. So we really need to know what, read the sentence really well to say, okay, this is what we're supposed to do, right? So we know that radius equals diameter divided by 2. So radius equals 28 divided by 2 equals 14. All right, so we have a circle with a radius of 14 meters. All right, and it wants us to use the fraction over here. So we'll say that area equals 22/7 times, right, 14 squared. I don't really know what 14 times 14 is. 196. So area equals 22/7 times 196 over 1, I'm assuming, since it's big, yeah. So my assumption, right, with a big number like that is that we would have a cross cancellation, and I tried it on the calculator, and there's one group of 7 and 28 groups of 7 and 196. And so then I have 22 times 28 and 1 times 1 on my denominator, so just 22 times 28. And then area equals, I'll just write it out for you. Now we know where it comes from. And we have meters squared. I don't know why I'm writing such diagonal. Sorry about that. All right, so you want to find the distance the monster truck travels when the tires make one 360-degree rotation, right? So we have big old monster truck, big tire. Which best describes this distance? Okay, so we have to look down here, the radius of the tire. So basically saying find the distance the tire truck travels when it does 360-degree revolution. All right. And so what does that mean? Draw a picture, right? So right here, tire is on the ground, right? if it moves in this direction, it's like saying if we snipped it right there and made it a flat line, how far would it travel, right? So if it's rolling, right, it's rolling downward, right? How far would it go until this exact point is touched for a second time? All right, and so the radius of the tire, so the radius is this. Is that going to help describe the distance? No. The diameter of the tire, is that going to describe the distance? No. Right? The circumference of the tire, right? So from here all the way back around, or the area of the tire, right? And so, as you guessed it, it's going to be the circumference of the tire, right? The area, the space inside, that's just how much space it's taking up, right? Right here. But the circumference of the tire is what's going to help us on that one. All right, find the area of the semicircular orchestra pit, right? So look at a concert, right? Here's the stage. You have the pit right there. If you've ever been to a concert, it's usually a spot right in front of the stage that we're able to, most likely it's standing room, or sometimes we'll have like the band up there with some type of a concert going on. They play dramatic music when things happen. So we know something. We know that our diameter of this semicircle is 30 feet. So our radius is going to equal diameter divided by 2. So 30 divided by 2 equals radius equals 15 feet. Okay. Now, what do you notice about this orchestra pit? Right? It's half a circle, right? So we're going to end up doing something. Since it's half, we know to divide by half, right? So we'll say area equals pi times r squared. So area equals 3.14 times 15 squared, and then we're going to divide that by 2, right? We divide by 2 because it's half of a circle. Half a circle gets divided by 2. All right, so we have 15 times 15, 225. Divided by 2 and times 3.14, and we end up with 706.5 divided by 2, and we get 353.25 feet squared is this orchestra pit. All right, the next one, you have 3 semicircles to do on your own. Remember, it's the same, just divided by 2. Okay, so if you want to do area of a semicircle, you would just, again, divide by 2. I was thinking of another thought, but not going to go there. All right, push pause if you'd like to try these on your own. Otherwise, follow along. Find the area of the semicircle. So we have area equals pi r squared. You notice how I write that out every single time. Don't get lazy. Times 8 meters squared. And so we have A equals 3.14 times 64 meters squared. Again, it's 8 times 8, and it's meters times meters. So area equals 296 meters squared. All right, so we have right there a problems. I want you to be able to see that. So Find the areas of a 16-inch pizza and a 12-inch pizza. How many times larger is the 16-inch pizza than the 12-inch pizza? Okay, so we have to find the area of a 16-inch pizza. Now, it's 16-inch pizza that measures all the way around, right? So we're looking with diameter is 16, and then we have one a little bit smaller, and that's 12, right? And so for our radius, again, our radius will just be half, right? So we have 8 equals R and 6 equals R. All right, so we are going to do the 16-inch pizza. So A equals pi R squared. Area equals pi times 8 squared. Area equals 3.14 times 64. And area equals 200.96 inches squared. All right, so we have area equals pi r squared. We've already determined radius. Area equals pi times 6 squared. Again, the units are squared as well, so that's how we get the inches squared. Area equals 3.14 times 36. And area equals 113 400 inches squared. Now it's saying how many times larger, right, is a 16-inch pizza. So all we have to do next is we have to just divide 200.96 inches squared divided by 113.4 inches squared. Right? And so it's roughly 1.8 times larger. All right. Go and do the BIM assignment now, and let me know if you need help in office hours. Have a good one, guys.